I'm doing a video not on one specific product, but more of the ecosystem itself. So this is a setup that I've been using now since last year. I did a setup video when I did the setup of these 3 cameras with the NVR. This is Amcrest's networked video camera solution or security camera solution. I have an 8-channel, up to 8 megapixel each channel NVR for up to 8 cameras. And in my case, I have 3 different POE cameras that I've been utilizing for a while. Some things I love about this system, some things I generally dislike with a passion. And I wanted to at least make a video about what I love, what I don't like, and what I hope they improve over time. And most of the things that are improved are not on physical product, but more on software. So that is something to say. That said, guys, we're gonna tear into this and talk about the NVR and cameras from Amcrest. Hey guys, welcome back to techgooch. So I'm going to preface this video with the fact that I'm going to have links to everything in the description. So if you're interested and want to find out more, check out the links. Second thing, Amcrest did send me these products to do setup videos and test out. That is irrelevant because I do my reviews based on my use, and it doesn't matter what you send me or how much you pay me. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about it based at the selling price it is. So if I look at a camera that's a $50 camera and I look at a camera that's a $200 camera, that's not really an apples to apples thing that I can compare because one is 4 times the price. So it better give me something that's more in terms of its use. These cameras are actually really well priced for what they are. And like I said, I have 3 different cameras. 2 of them essentially have the same sensor. They're just 2 different styles. So a turret style versus a bullet style. And then I have a true 8 megapixel 4K camera. That one has kind of blown my mind on how awesome it is. So without further ado, we're going to tear into each one of these, kind of go brick by brick to say what I like and what I dislike, and probably should start with the head of the system. So if you've ever done a security camera setup before, there are DVRs and there are NVRs, digital video recorders or networked video recorders. Network video recorders are exactly what they sound like. They're actually pulling a video feed off of the network, not off an HDMI or a BNC or a coaxial video signal. It's actually networked video. So typically the cameras are sometimes Wi-Fi, or they'll be over Ethernet, power over Ethernet cameras typically. That's usually what you'll see. So this one has an 8-channel NVR, so it can do up to 8 channels, whether it's a wireless feed or a Ethernet feed. This does have an 8-port switch on the back that does power the cameras, so you don't have to have your own power over Ethernet switch if you're using PoE cameras. All of the cameras that I did are PoE cameras, so that's essentially how I'm looking at this, and I'm kind of comparing it to other NVRs that I've used in the past, right? And so for what this is, it's a pretty cool system. It's everything that you need. It does have an HDMI output that you can connect to a monitor. It comes with a little mouse. You can connect a keyboard to it. So you can put it at your desk, hook it up to maybe a separate input on your monitor, and be able to click over to it and see the direct feed off of it. That's the neat part. I'm not a big fan of the back end. The video, or I should say the software that's running, first I'll premise this, I have not had a single issue with this NVR. It works great. I only have a 1 terabyte hard drive in it currently, so I only get so long before it has to erase to record the next section. And I have it set on, and of course, depending on how many cameras you have, is how big of a hard drive you're going to want, for how many days you want to store. So I would typically put a lot bigger hard drive in it, but this is just for testing purposes. However, I'll preface this again. I did not have a single issue with any camera failing, any video distortion, or anything like that on the NVR. So I will say that. That said, accessing the videos on this NVR is a little bit trickier. So you can do it on a desktop, or you can do it through the browser, but you can also do it through a desktop app for Mac or PC, and which I found the most reliable way to download video footage in the highest quality possible is through that. You also can do it through a mobile app, and that is where it gets even trickier, because you can't just say, hey, I want to record, from whatever, 4 o'clock to 4:05 yesterday, this 5-minute window. can you just send me that feed? You can't do that. I have other NVRs that do that, and it is a blessing because being able to pull off a certain portion of the video real quick, you know you got it, you're good to go. I want this camera from this time. Easy. Doesn't work like that. On the mobile app, you literally have to scrub to find the spot that you want to record. You literally hit the record button, and then you have to watch it through to the stop where you want to stop recording, and you hit stop recording. And then you can download it. Kind of a pain in the butt. And of course, if you're not on your network, so you're getting the lag from being outside of your network, it isn't quite where I would want it to be. It's priced well, and I can compare it to another brand of similar price point, but theirs is actually easier to download. They download some of the other brands out there that download like chunks. So like if you had a piece like at 4 o'clock or to 4:05, I wanted that chunk. Well, you download the 4 o'clock to 4:30, that whole chunk, and then you can reduce the size of the file by scrubbing, by basically reducing, clipping it. You can't do that with this. This is different than that. That said, that's how you do it on the desktop. So in order to do it on the desktop, you try to say, I want it from this time to this time, but it always seems to download a full hour video, at least for me on the Mac app. No matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried to get just like a 5 or 10 minute clip out of the video, or even a 60-second clip, I got a 1 hour clip and then I'd have to scrub it down. And it just takes time because you have to wait for that full hour of video to feed down to your PC, and it takes a while. So while it works really well, the retrieval or playback of your existing footage is a pain in the butt, and it has a little bit of a lag to it. So if I was one thing that I want this to do better, it's software side. Get some updated software on this thing, and you can update it. So if they were to update the firmware and software on this thing to make it easier and change how the apps worked with this, so it was easier to get your footage off of it, that would make it that much sweeter. Next, we're going to talk about two of the cameras. So these are the 5 megapixel cameras I got to try. This is the turret style. This is the bullet style. Essentially, these really are the same cameras almost. They have the same AI capability, color modes, everything like that. They are very similar. Just how they mount to the home, where you're going to place them, is which style camera is going to work best. These the turret styles are fantastic if you're under an eave, if you're mounting to the bottom of an eave or something like that. These are fantastic, and they keep it hugged up to the top, and there's nothing sticking out. So there's not anything like a bird or something that's going to perch on it right there. It is very well designed for what it is. So the design of a turret style versus a bullet style, which great off a wall, or these are more versatile in places you can mount them and get the right footage because you can aim them however you want to aim them. But they are sticking out from the building, so they are prone to other things. So they, maybe a tree branch could catch it or something like that. Just options. You just want to make sure that you get the correct mounting style. Then once you have it mounted, in terms of these, they're very similar. They're HD, so they're just a standard 5 megapixel camera. They are solid cameras. There's nothing wrong about these cameras. They're well built. If you watch the setup video, you can see how these go on. But 5 megapixel video footage, pretty solid in all reality for the quality of footage you're going to get out of these. Like I said, very similar cameras, just different mounting styles. And last but not least, for sure not least, is this guy. This is the 4K 8 megapixel turret style camera. So same style camera as this 5 megapixel guy, which I actually have these mounted on opposite sides of my house, pointed towards the front of the house. So they're both pointed towards the street, similar lighting conditions, but there is a big difference. This 4K version is ridiculous in terms of the quality of the video feed. So if you're looking to get up, be able to zoom in on the video to pick up more finite details, this camera is the one you want versus the 5 megapixel. The 8 megapixel is so much better. You can also tell that the sensor is bigger because not only are you getting more megapixels, right? So you're getting much finer grained content. However, the quality of the night version or vision of this is substantially better than the quality of the night vision on the 5 megapixel. And showing the difference between these two cameras, while they're not pointed the same way, they're not showing the exact same thing, they're both out front of my house with similar lighting, similar layouts, One is over my driveway, that's this guy, versus the other one's over my yard. It is crazy how much of a difference that this one makes. It is awesome at night. But I will say this, I did have, I wouldn't call it a burglary, but I did have somebody remove a rocking chair from my front porch. It was actually not long after I installed these cameras. I'm not gonna go into the whole story. He backed up on my driveway, took the rocking chair off my front porch and left. This camera was super easy for me to zoom right in on the license plate and provide it to the police. That happened to me, and this was awesome. So I got them involved and then got my rocking chair back. It worked great, but not to go into the crazy story that led into that, but this camera made it so much easier because it wasn't blurry. The license plate was clear as day. Even though it wasn't right next to the camera, it was kind of out for a little ways. Because of the 8 megapixels, I was able to zoom in and just see every single thing on the license plate. It was fantastic. I'm not saying I wouldn't be able to get out of this, wouldn't have been as clear. This was just a night and day. This is exactly what's going on. And yeah, so that is the 4K 8 megapixel version of the tourist style camera. I will put links to all 3 of these cameras as well as the NVR in the footage or in the description. So if you want to take a peek at this camera, by all means, check it out. So in the end, so like I said, I started working on these videos, or I should say I started working on these products and testing them out quite a while ago, so almost a year ago, not quite a year. I have had a blast doing it, and I always have. And I don't have a whole lot of bad things to say about this, but I did want to bring up the things that I really didn't like. Now this is the the NV4208 NVR. They do have the 5208, so I don't know what the full differences are between those two models. I haven't actually seen the 5208. So, but I don't see the difference being anything that's going to fix what I've already talked about, because I've been utilizing these same apps that you would use with the 5208. They probably increased the capacity because this one has 2 SATA ports for up to 8 terabytes per port, so 16 terabytes total. I think the new one does 10 terabytes per port, so you can get up to 20 terabyte hard drive space on the new one. And I'm sure there's other differences as well with you know, what you can connect to it and things like that. But that said, the only downside that I've had for this entire setup has nothing to do with the products, because I've been incredibly impressed with the products, specifically the 4K cameras. Seriously, if you're going to look at doing a quality system and get as high quality as possible, if there's any depth to your video where you may have to zoom in on the footage, do the 4K camera in a heartbeat. It's worth every dollar you spend in addition over the standard cameras. So this camera is, by all means, one of my favorite security cameras I've tested to date. That said, the only downside was the software side. And so while this works quite well, it is very reliable. So for a security system, it's fantastic. It's the downloading of the video to my computer that is not impossible. I can do it every single time. I've never had an issue doing it. Just, it seems to want to fight you more than it should. And specifically when I was trying to pull video footage while I wasn't here, I was on vacation thousands of miles away, doing it on my phone, it irked me, is maybe the best way to say it. I wish it was a lot easier to do from my mobile device, because my other system I also have running for some of my other security cameras is super easy to do. So that said, guys, that is the Amcrest NVR system that I currently have installed. I have a lot of great things to say about it. Like I said, I truly do enjoy it. However, there are some caveats to it. So thank you for watching to the end of this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you have questions at all for me, you can post them in the comment section, but you can also head over to techgooch.com and get a hold of me directly. So if you're looking at a system like this for yourself and you literally want something specific answered that I didn't answer in this video, head over to techgooch.com, get a hold of me directly. Or you can head to shoegeek.com and get a hold of me directly through there as well. So thank you for watching to the end of this video. We'll catch you back here on TechGooch for another future video review. And make sure you watch the setup videos if you want. I do have a setup video just on the NVR and then on the cameras themselves. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you back here on TechGooch for another future video. See you soon.